Well, you know, pieces and parts and parts and pieces. There you are again. How you doing? Welcome back to Junks Automotive. We got gauges and things, tacks and speedometers, and they look pretty nasty, but we have a bunch of parts. I have some stuff that works, and some of this is real expensive. Got our freshly couple of months old painted dashboard that still needs some work. So let's see if we can fix some of these. Test them, see if they work, see what we're going to need. We're going to need stuff, but I want to be pretty methodical about what I need, because that way I can forget half of it. All right, welcome back. Let's get at it. Roll your sleeves up. I got gloves if you want them. So here's the low down, hoedown. There's a tack. Pretty cruddy, rusty, probably frozen. I've soaked it all down with rust penetrant overnight. There's a speedometer, and its lens is cracked. Now the lenses and these rings, you can buy these. Moss Motors does not sell these gauges. They show like an exchange, like rebuilt, whatever. And the ones I saw that were brand new, they're expensive. So if anything, if I can make them work and clean them up, we can replace the lenses and the trim rings. These, water temperature and oil pressure. I know the water temperature works on this gauge because I had it hooked to the engine when we had it running in there, and I'll put a video of that right here where it was running. But I did not, I think I had a cheap oil pressure gauge on it. So I'd like to figure out a way to test this, because we don't want to put all interior in it, hook it all up and have it leak oil, because it's mechanical. There's a line that goes from, you know, engine to here. Here's another one just in case. It's older. Same exact gauge. It's a Jaeger, not the Smiths. The Jaegers, if you buy one of these, you can buy one of these brand new. $350 without shipping or tax. $350. They're really cool that they're double, you know, do double things. So we want to make one work. Here's a temperature gauge from a different car that I'm going to guess is an older year, or maybe a 1500, not a 1600. Don't know. So it might work if we had to, but I know the temperature gauge on this one works. And we have parts. Out of 3 cars, we've already painted the best dashboard I got. But luckily, everything is on this one for the most part. All the wiring's kind of hooked up, so I can take pictures. It'll help me on the new side. And we have one cracked lens and another good one. So we've got 2 lenses if they clean up good. Trim rings, let's polish them up with some triple lot, you know, scratchy, and some glass cleaner, see what they do. But we got to see mechanically if they'll work first. Okay, so we have, looks like a headlight switch. This is a turn signal switch. These are pretty expensive too for what they are. So if we can get some of this stuff to work, you know, the knobs, we can buy all the knobs and the little horn push button thing. I think that one might actually work. It's not frozen or anything. Little fake speaker grill. We've got, you know, a couple choices. There's a key switch, turns the power on, and then one of these, I think maybe this one, is the pull start from the mechanical, you know. So let's just dig in, maybe see if we can't get some of these gauges first to work. There's a square drive in there, and cable driven tack, and a cable driven speedometer, obviously. So let's see if we can make those spinny and actually do something, you know, and go from there. So like I was saying, there's your square drive cable. This is probably a tack cable. Could be a speedometer, I don't know. It's frozen. They're readily available, but I just wanted to match up the size with a little square drive bit. One of the little cheapy ones you buy, little cheapy kits. So I'm gonna stick it in the back where the cable would usually go. And if you see, I know it's kind of dirty, it's hard to see. It kind of wants to work. Now, I know from experience, I'm not going to tell you why, I've taken speedometers apart and fixed them. Usually what it is a metal cone that hooks to the needle, or the magnet hooks to the needle and the cone spins around it, and the faster it spins, the more it lifts it up. So, and they're going to both work pretty much the same way. I think they just need taken apart, cleaned up, loosened up, freed up. So I'll go ahead and we'll work on taking these apart and take the other ones apart on the parts dashboard. See if we can come up with a pair that's going to work enough. Okay-ish. Right. Let me see what I come up with. So this is our speedometer. Like 2 screws holds the unit inside the bucket, and trim ring has little, look at that. Trim ring has little ears. You see one right there, one right there, one right there, and it goes on and click. That's how it comes off. And there's little spots. I know it's hard to see. They're pretty rusty. But this glass is broke. It's cracked right there. So I'm going to try to at least learn how to get it apart on the broken one. There's all kind of crud buildup in there. And I don't know if it's glued in or what, but I figure if I'm going to break one, let's break one that's already broke. And this may not come out, and it could be why it cracked. It's because it rusted around it so bad that it got, you know, shoved together. And just trying to get around that edge. Sounds like plastic. It could be glass. I'm not real sure. How that comes out. Yeah, I just pushed right there because I already had the 2 screws out right there. 2 screws. There appears to be a rubber gasket. And there's our gauge. All right, let me work on getting this out. So you got a little, your trip odometer reset so the whole thing doesn't want to come out. All right, let me do some deciphering. I'll get back with you. I've had a little bit of a time. There's your little reset for your trip odometer. Well, I can't get the screw out of either one. There's a little set screw that holds that on there. So I tried drilling it out, kind of went sideways, so I twisted and worked it back and forth. Of course, it broke off. And I just drilled out the center of it. And when we get all done, we'll just JB weld or epoxy, maybe come up with a set screw or a roll pin or something to put that back on there. So I think it's all right. Got one good glass on this speedometer. I got it out without breaking it. Had these little tabs that go around here for the trim ring. I just had to go and work them, had to loosen them all up. Everything's so rusty. I about couldn't. I took these gauges out of that parts dash, and I had to hit it with a rubber mallet to get them out. So now, how this works, there's a ring inside here that goes in front of the face, and the trim ring holds it all together. So now what I'm doing, and you can't really see, there's a little edge. So I'm taking my little bitty screwdriver and I'm just going around the edge and tapping it, kind of pushing it in a little bit, trying to get that broke loose. Like I said, just getting a whole speedometer and another tack. And you can put whatever you want in there, I guess, but it'd be nice to have these working. and looking good. And if they don't look worth a crap, then there we go. Right there. So this ring's in decent shape. It's got a little rusty on it. But I think once we clean it up, paint it, and reuse it. So let's see if I can't. Try to get this gauge the rest of the way out. I have no idea. Can't get that. That's what stops it, is that. There we go. There we go. There's our speedometer. All kind of greasy up. There's parts that I got to figure out now where they go. Wow. So there's that. There's our little okay. Now let me see if I can clean this up. And then there's our drum that turns this. So let me do some deciphering here and figure out how this works so I can clean it up, how I can make it work, all that good stuff. Well, I noticed there's the face of this speedometer right here. See a little screw? It's backed out. So it's all kind of loosey-goosey in there, which is interfering with our little magnet cup situation. So I'm going to take the face off. I just popped the dial off of it, and there's two little bitty screws right behind where that dial is, so the face will come off. That's going to help me get in here and clean and lube and whatnot. Got her all cleaned up, lubed up. I used contact cleaner. I didn't use brake clean. The reason is contact cleaner dries a lot faster than brake clean does. I had to clean spray behind that drum because there was grit and stuff in there, and it would catch it and make it jump around. And got my screws tightened up. All four of them were loose. Filled up the cavity where the cable goes in, filled it all the way up with Marlboro Mysteries oils, and then just turned it back and forth, and it worked it down inside there. Got the little gears lubed up. And so, you're not going to be able to see the dial move, obviously, but you're going to be able to see this. The dial is connected to that drum right there. And you also see the trip odometer. I've got a piece of speedometer cable chucked up in the, and it's kind of bent and screwy, so it jumps around, but you'll see the trip odometer. Into that cable so screwed up. Yeah, you can see the trip odometer now moving just a bit. Here, we'll go ahead and reset it. There we go. 0. 68,230 miles. And I just put a couple miles on it doing this. So let me get my face cleaned up. My face. No, this face. It's kind of grody. I think it's going to clean up nice. We'll get it cleaned up, get it bolted back on the face, and then we'll set it aside because we're going to have to do some rust treatments here. maybe even a small welding project, because it needs to be longer. And you know, stuff. Oh, the fun part. There we go. Got them both started. You got to be careful cleaning. I use, of course, I use Windex. You got to be careful cleaning. There's a stop, a little peg stop right there for the, you know, the wiki woos. Now this is a little. You see, it's weighted too. I like to clean that up. Maybe I'll put some white paint on that. You know. Ring. Oh, it's a speedometer. Okay. A little bit of steel wool. You know what? My favorite, Windex. And it's got just a tiny little bit of pitting here and there. Pretty good, but it went from that to that. I had a bit of a time with tachometers. This one had got wadded up at some point, the spring. It shouldn't look like that. This one was in better shape. Cleaned, adjusted, got her working pretty good, I think. Okay, so it works. Got to fix the studs on the speedometer one. I just put 1032 seconds screws in there, a couple and this is stainless steel stuff, a couple of nuts, some red Loctite. They'll never come back. You got to finish cleaning this one up and do the same thing to it, get things rust treated and put together. Let's see, I don't know, we'll see how it turns out. Some parts cooking over here in the easy bake oven area. Now, oh, by the way, I knew I had a rotted heater box. Whole bottom of it's gone. It's not good, but look at that. Find a nice one. Might get the battery out later and hook it up and see if it, you know. Anyhow, like I was saying about the water temp, I know that it works. This capillary thingamabob is soldered on here, so once I decide this is a good gauge for both oil and water, I might just clean that up, because it's you know, brush it off and soak it with some rusty stuff, paint it silver, be done. The oil side, I don't know. So figure I'll first start out, see if it holds vacuum. Of course, this vacuum pump only goes that far. So I'll leave it set for a while, see if it's backed off of that 24 inches, and I would think if it would leak pressure, it would leak vacuum. But it might be one of those things where, I don't know, we'll see. We'll see what we do. You just go for it. I don't want oil going all inside but I don't know if that's the thing. It may have a diaphragm in it that dries out, or it may not. It might just be a piston sort of deal. So I don't know. Well, we'll let it go. Let it go for a little bit, see if it drops vacuum. Oh, and this is the one fuel gauge I have other than this one, and this one just doesn't look. That ring's not going to shine up. There's chunks of stuff rolling around in it. I'm over it. The fuel gauge I think was like 40 or 50 bucks, so we'll just get one of those. You know, the expensive ones are these and those. There goes nothing. Oh yeah. I think how it controls the air runs the same speed all the time. You just close off this intake to regulate the air amount. It's kind of weird. I don't know. You MGA guys will be able to tell me. But that's cool. Now all I got to do is take it apart. We'll clean it, rusty it up, make it pretty, and then figure out a way to pressure test our heater core before we put it in. If we need a heater core, need a heater core. But it's nice to have to know that that's just going to work. One thing. Fingers crossed. Well, I hadn't really dropped any vacuum in, well, half hour. I think it's a safe bet. Of course, we'll have the dashboard, the gauges, everything hooked up in the car when we get it running. You know, one of the last things is do the interior. So if it leaks, it leaks. Then we spend the $350 to buy another one. What do you do? That's worth a chance to me. Yep. My audio quit on me and I lost it. My battery died or something. Anyhow, got the bucket for the speedometer all painted up, getting ready to try to get it screwed in there where there's a little gasket between the body and that speedo head itself. I'm about to show you what one looks like here. There you go. Now it's a little bit deteriorated, and it's sort of like a cushion the way it's mounted in the bottom of that bucket. So what I did was there's the little cupped washers. There's supposed to be a rubber grommet in there, and they're just rotted away. And there's a sleeve that keeps you from tightening the bolt up too much, and that way it can float around, I suppose. So what I did was to go ahead and find my O-rings, find just the right size O-ring. There you go. Stick her on the screw around that sleeve, and then screw it on in there. It seemed to work out pretty well. It's a lot of fiddling with this small stuff, especially with arthritic fingers and calluses that are a mile thick. But we get her together. A bigger screwdriver, crank her on down. And there we go. It does move around a little bit, but not much. So why it's built that way, don't know, but it's in there. I just got to worry about trying to get the face put back on it now. The reason I had the face off, it was easier to get it inside that bucket. There's a light. That's your brights on light. It's got a little rubber tube, and it makes it go through the little red lens on the face of the speedometer. Let's see if I can't mess this up. Oops. You gotta watch your little spindle that your dial goes on. Bend that thing up and probably have a hard time getting it to work right. But you'll see, it doesn't really work right anyway. This is the hard stuff here. All right, you're going to see me go ahead and put this thing together real quick. We'll just go ahead and speed her up some fast motion action. Listen to a song from the Punk and Holler Boys.
forget the day we took our wedding vows. Left that little country church and headed into town. We checked into the motel to spend our honeymoon. Next morning when I woke up, you chased me out the room. It's back to work, work, work. That's all I ever do now, honey. Work, work, work. Just to get along with you.
You know what? My little microphone thingy's died, so if I sound different than before, at least you can hear me. So it's like a rubber gasket that goes around the edge, and I think it's just to hold the glass in, keep the glass from breaking. There's our glass. It may not. Fit in there right because this ring is so buggered up. I don't want to break it. Just might be too much. I want to put pressure on it because you know my luck with glass. Might have been, I just didn't have that ring in there all the way. Dang it. And keep it clean on the inside because once you put it together, I'm going to end up putting RTV on this one because the see if the glass will fit, and then I'll get rid of that for now. We got a little edge. But it'll fit now. If it'll fit with no O-ring. Easy. Yeah, I don't know. I may not even be able to put that back together. Because this trim ring is boogered up. To get that glass in, it ain't gonna come out, so. Alright, I'll be back. Alright, got it on there. A little bit of messing around, and for that ring being the way it was, it don't look half bad. You just see the outside edge of it. Oh, and since the wipers motor and stuff goes under the dash, well, we got something there to work with, so that's working. All right, awesome. Did find the generator, so it could be, we'll clean it up. I think I can see the brushes down inside, get a look at them. It's not froze, it's moving. We might take the back of it off, look at the brushes, I don't know. Something else we found. It's quite a bit, well, quite a bit more usable. So we'll probably clean that up, paint the center, and replace the little horn button. Well, that's not a horn button actually, but it'll be better than that one there. You know, stuff and stuff, and it's hard telling. We might just replace those. I don't know. Let's get a look at it and see what they look like in a green dash. Well, I don't know. It makes me happy. We'll see what Ralph thinks. Maybe we'll just digital. We got all the switches and everything, and we'll get a fuel gauge and a speaker, or put a radio here maybe. It had a block off plate. The car never had speakers, I don't think, or a radio, so we're gonna have a bunch of money in just this right here by the time we're done. Got a feeling. Well, there you have it. It's really, it's something anybody could do. It takes patience and figuring out how things come apart. And most of these old cars, these gauges and all that, you can take them apart, clean them, make them work. And you know, we'll see if we end up using these or not. We might try them out. If they own it, we can always swap them out. Not a big deal. But yeah, save yourself some money if you want and give it a shot. Now these tabs are wrong on here because somebody had cut it off with a hacksaw or something. And now that I got the other dashboards, now I understand how we're going to cut the ears off of one of those other dashes and weld them on here. You know, and it's just how it is. One little thing at a time. These projects will get you. They will. But you got to stay at it. And it's one of those things, you want to do it bad enough, you're going to do it. Trust me. I tell people that all the time about cars and figuring out how to fix cars and playing music. If you want to bad enough, you will. You'll find a way, right? So get out in your barn, your shop barn, barn shop, lean-to, garage, and go have fun. Messing with some of this stuff is sometimes it's a waste of time, and you keep back circling, and it is what it is. I'm learning, I'm having a good time, and I hope that you are, right? So, New Year's Eve's coming up pretty soon. We'll have something fun, a little something fun special around New Year's Eve-ish, right? Or the day before, hopefully. We'll see how things go. But, yeah, I'm sure glad you guys came back, stop by and say hey. Share the video, spread the word a little bit for me if you don't mind. And if you're just now watching this, it's my old buddy's MGA. That's come a long way. A big old box of parts is starting to look like a car. So, hey, we'll see you on the next one. And remember, hey, if it was easy, everybody'd be doing it, right? Peace. We'll see you guys next time. Sometime. So, yeah. See you then. Oh. My eyes hurt. All right, welcome back. I'm Bad Chad. Queen Jolene's on the camera, and we're on air. We're here in Indiana. Indiana. He wants us to help him out with his 57 Chev, and I think he's pretty close. You know, a little bit of kitty hair and some body work. It's done. But I say we cut the roof off using some masking tape, channel the whole body, put a new floor in it, and all we're going to use is this square tubing, this exhaust pipe, and this grinder.